Hey, everybody, I'm meteorologist Andy Parker. It is great to have you along. It was a summer-like day today as we set record highs across Western New York. Take a look at these numbers. 68 degrees is the new record high for today's date. The all-time record high in February, 71 degrees. We came within just 3 degrees of that. Rochester made it to 73 today. That puts this month of February as the warmest February we've ever had right now. And it looks like we're going to stick the landing on this and stay there through the end of the month. But it doesn't come without a drop. Take a look at Wednesday. I want to bring this full and look at this. By the way, we can see your comments. Please feel free to throw questions in there. Give us a like and a share while you're at it too. If you enjoy these videos, what you see, the information you get, all that we ask is you give us a like and a share, but we're happy to answer the questions for you. Look at this, 60 degrees on Wednesday morning when you wake up. 10 a.m., you're done with breakfast and coffee, you've gotten into work, and you're like, wow, this is going to be another great warm day. Then the bottom drops out. Oh my goodness. At 12 o'clock lunchtime, don't think that you're going to go for a walk. Rain, thunderstorms, and a precipitous drop in temperature. We're going to go from the 60s through the 50s and into the 30s by 2 o'clock, setting the stage for what is going to be a flash freeze. So all that water that comes down and puddles up is going to ice up very quickly as we run into that 2 to 4 p.m. hour. Temperatures dropping down to 32 degrees. Oh, by the way, the winds start gusting up to 60 miles an hour. Hey, Andrea, yeah, oh, wow, you could go all caps with that one. It is going to be a huge change from spring to winter right in one day, and it's going to skip summertime. We're just going to go right into it there. And then you look at that. We're into the 20s, and then we're going to have fingers of lake effect snow in the evening hours. Let me show it to you, folks. Here's how it works out. This is 4 in the morning. So you might be woken up by thunderstorms before the sun comes up. Those all roll off to Rochester, and you'll see that for the morning drive, for the most part, things will be drying out. For the bus stop, the kids are okay as far as the precip goes. It's going to be very warm. This will be the best time of the day. Here's where it starts coming back, 11, 12 o'clock. First the rain, then we get the cold temperatures coming in, and then the wind. And behind it, these winds will howl through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. And look at that. There's those fingers of lake effect beginning to move through. Let me take you up to the north towns a little bit here, and we'll show you that Niagara and Orleans County, you'll have these wind whip fingers of lake effect snow right through the city of Buffalo along the thruway to Rochester. And then again in the south towns, no one will be immune from the snow, but it's not going to be piling up in any one location. This will be more of a brushing of snow, if you will. And you can see that right through the afternoon into the evening hours, it begins to reorient as the winds change direction a little bit. By the way, the winds, they are going up to 60 miles an hour. Not a huge hit of snow, but yes, Mother Nature's fury is coming down in a hurry. But I wanted to not leave you here at the end of the story with one day of bad news. Take a look at this. 62 and dropping on Wednesday. We covered that. Thursday, we're back to winter, but it's for one day as we finish out the month. Look at this. Here comes March. You think that's coming in like a lamb? Absolutely. 47, 51, and we're right back into the 60s on Sunday, and it looks like we're going to stay there into Monday as well. Never put away the snowsuit. Well, hopefully in the month of May, we can pack that stuff away. But we all know that May could get some snow as well. Hey, wanted to just cover it again. If you're just popping in the room, it is great to have you along. We had record-setting heat today. We might set a record tomorrow. We came close to the all-time record high. This will be the warmest February we've ever had in Buffalo history. Think about it. 2015 was the coldest February we ever had. So we're just a few years separated from that. The previous warmest was 2017, which wasn't long ago, and that's what you see there. But the big change is tomorrow. This is the one I want to get on the screen so everybody sees it. Yes, some beautiful days coming, and we can see the rest of that 5-day forecast looking great. But 60s go right through. I mean, you'll blink and we'll be through the 50s. Within an hour or two, we're going right down into the 30s. Hey, Sherry, thanks for stopping by. Feel free to pop your comments in there and questions too. We'll take them, answer anything you want. But that flash freeze, if you're wondering when things are going to ice up, the evening drive couldn't be more opposite than that morning drive. You're going to see an absolute hyper change in what happens. It is going to be a crazy day, especially when you throw those gusts in there. And then you have the snow coming in for the evening hours, as I just showed you. So let's go ahead and take a look at that again and kind of walk you through the timeline and all this. Everybody's coming in the room. We're happy to welcome you in. And if you're just popping in and you're wondering, hey, I've got a question, what can you tell me about this? Go ahead and throw it in there and we'll cover it as best we can. Everybody gets wet in the early morning hours. I mean, soaking wet. It comes through with rumbles of thunder. We had rumbles of thunder today. If you had rumbles of thunder, pop it in there in the comments. Let us know. I had about six or eight lightning strikes right by my house today. Thank you, Kathy, for stopping by. We're happy to do it. Now, the rain gets out of here for the most part by the time you're going into work. Kids are going into school. They're going to want to wear shorts in the morning because we're so warm. And then you're going to find that it starts to change. The rain comes back before 12 o'clock. And then that cold air sweeps in. A big temperature change between 11 and 1. And then you'll see that the storms roll off to the east, the thunder, and there's the switch to snow. We'll start to see that happen by around 3 o'clock. Rumbles in Pendleton. Yeah, we saw some of the lightning strikes up there. Village of Hamburg, Lloyd of lightning and thunder. Yes, there was a lot of that in Hamburg. Portions of Holland got hit. Look at this. Now, 4 o'clock, Tonawanda had some thunder. You can see the action already beginning to take place. The areas to the west, so the closer you are to the lake, the quicker you are going to be to switch to snow. It'll be these fingers or bursts of snow. They're going to wobble and be blown by these gusty winds. Hamburg holds on to that for a while. It'll be through downtown Buffalo. Here's your evening commute. Let me go to around 4 or 5 o'clock. Things change dramatically just in time for everybody to head home. Now, if you're Rochester East, you're still rain. But if you're Buffalo westward, you are now snow by the time we get to 3 and 4 o'clock. Think about that. At lunchtime, we're still sitting here. It is going to be 60, 62, and then, boy, does it drop. And this is what we're looking at by the time we get to around 4, 5 o'clock in the evening hours. And you'll see it as it continues to move off to the east, the rain does. And then now we have these fingers of lake effect, bursts of snow. This is not a giant lake effect single band storm that's going to plow snow on top of everybody. I'm not even sure you're going to see your plow guy if you have one during the course of the day on Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. So that's what we've got going there. So again, I want to stress this day, Cheektowaga, thunder and lightning there around 3 o'clock, right in the afternoon. I want to stress, here's how this works out. You are going to walk out and think, oh, we've got a replay of what we just had on Tuesday. And this is going to be great. We're in for another gorgeous day, but then it's going to change. I mean, it is going to change in a snap. One of the fastest drops we've had from the 60s down to the 20s in recent memory. And it's going to be just a matter of hours. That's why the flash freeze is in there. Fort Erie, you've got the same thing going on over there. You actually had more thunder on that side of the border than we did, and you're going to have the same temperature drop probably an hour or so earlier than some of the sites in Western New York. And then that flash freeze. So it's going to be the water turns to ice, and then those wind-whipped snow showers that'll be blowing around Western New York and making things rather tricky. I'm sure the salters are going to be out. They know this is coming. It is a well-predicted storm right down to the hour. I would expect all the DOTs out there salting just about the time that the switchover happens. They're not going to salt before the rain comes down, but maybe after the rain, just as the temperature drops, they're going to go ahead and salt the heck out of the roads. But it's going to be the sidewalks. It's that first step out the door that's going to be the slipperiest one. So be prepared. Once you get to the evening hours, if it looks wet, make sure you treat it with a little bit of sensitivity. But look at this. The good news, we go from this crazy wild Wednesday to a chilly Thursday. By the way, that's the 29th. The bonus day, I'll get to the wind in a moment, Doug. The bonus day of February is going to be one of the colder ones. And then March comes in and we just ride the temperature roller coaster right back up to the top. And there is no drop on Monday. This looks like we're going to roll these 60s for a couple days and then come back down to the 30s. No big storms for the next 10 days or so. So we are solid out through almost the 12th of March. Think about that. It's a number of days where we don't have to worry about too much. Let's look at that again. The wind is going to come whipping through. Let me put this one back up here and then we'll go to Ty. How bad will the wind be? Doug wants to know. Doug, the winds pick up around 1 and 2 o'clock. huge gusts of wind right away, and then a steady wind. It'll be around 30, 35 miles an hour, sustained at times, and then it drops down. But you will get those big gusts. So any questions you have in here, throw them on there. Thank you for the info. What's going on in your area? Sandra, thanks for stopping by. We can't thank you much as we would not. But what we can ask you to do is just hit the like button and hit the share button on this. If you enjoy watching this, you do that for us. That's all we ask. And if you haven't liked our page, please go ahead and do that so that you can get notified when we do light these things up. By the way, in case you're just finding out, we set a record today. That was the big number. Has to go to the airport tomorrow to pick up luggage at 12 o'clock. Oh, that's going to be right at the time that hits. It's going to be a crazy moment there at the airport. And you can see that the numbers, we're not getting to 68 today, but that's where we are tomorrow. But we'll get close. We'll get into those low 60s. March coming in like a lamb, 100%. And February is going to be a pretty lamb of a month. If you had to characterize the whole month, it was pretty easy going. 34.8. It's the warmest average temperature that we've had in February ever. Is it safe to take the snow tires off? I think we're taking them off. At this point, I mean, anything if you notice that the sun is at a higher angle, it's up longer, it's tougher to keep snow around longer. So I think if you wanted to go take them off, it's not bad. You're going to get half of March without a problem, and then maybe you'll get the average stuff that comes as we go through the month of April. But I don't think this is a huge problem. By the way, snow tires don't like 60s. They like temperatures below the 40s. All the seasons in 24 hours. Well, let's count them up here, Babs. Do we have let's call a 62 is a cool summer day. And then we run through spring and winter and fall, and you got it all right in there. We just don't have any blowing leaves, but we will have blowing snow right through the afternoon. How much snow in Cheektowaga for Wednesday and Thursday? Hey, I'm glad you asked. We were just talking about this, looking at the data. And it doesn't look like a big hit. This is going to be where some spots pick up an inch or two. But again, keep in mind, it's going to be blowing around. So you'll have bare spots, and then you'll have portions of your driveway that'll have some snow in it. But it's not a huge deal. Thursday morning, 6 a.m. flights. What are you dealing with? At 4 a.m., you still have some winds out there, but the winds will be ratcheting down. You're going to take off. It's not going to be bad visibility. Thursday morning, you're in great shape, except you're going to need a jacket going in. If you're going to a warm destination, you're going to have to bring that jacket with you just to get out of this one. Let's look at the timing on this for Jocelyn. She says, what time does it start? We can give you the start time. It's right there on the screen. You'll see it right around 12 o'clock is when this thing lights up and goes. You're going to find those temperatures dropping, and it'll affect the lakeshore first. The immediate drop will be there, and then it'll go right across all of New York State. Hey, thank you, Jessica, for stopping by. What a great picture. We appreciate it. Like and shares, folks. That's all we ask. We can see some of the likes on the screen. As you put the comments in, we can see them. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, I guess you'd call it. And anywhere you want your weather, this is how we do it now. You don't have to wait for some of the shows to come on TV or someone to post something. You've got it right here, right now, a one-on-one question and answer period. Tomorrow, we will be lighting up just as all this weather comes in, and we'll be tracking it across Western New York, letting you know who's icing up, where the problem spots are. This is definitely going to be a spot you want to check in on. So make sure you give the page a like so that you're updated when we light these up. But we'll take as many questions here. What did I see this one here? Can I take the plow off? Now, if you're a plow contractor, you're probably not doing that yet, because during the month of April, we can still get some hits that are going to be in excess of 2 to 4 inches. So although a lot of plow contracts end at April 1st, but keep it on for the second half of March, because the first half, while it starts warm, there's a chance this could go the other way. And all it would take is one of these storms to come in as snow rather than rain and drop a couple more inches on top of us. But this was not a big deal. Do you think we'll have an early spring? I think we're having our early spring right now. It's a false spring because we're watching these temperatures soar. Because I still think there's so much opportunity for a cold flip to put us back into the 30s and 20s. This is not go get the gardens ready, we're done. It is an incredible stretch at the end of February and early March, and we'll enjoy it. But I will say this, too much of a good thing could be a bad thing, because if we start to see the flowers and the trees start to think, hey, it's go time, it's not in Western New York, because it can still get cold very quickly. What does next week look like? Well, we're going to drop the whole first half of March for you. Once this Arctic front passes by, make sure you look at the post and stop by the page because we'll lay out as much of March as we can. I think you're going to like what you see as we get in there. Certainly, you can see the first few days of March are looking great, and that continues pretty much for the first week, and we don't see any big storms even out to almost mid-month. Late March, yeah, I will say this. It's going to be very easy to say this. Late March is going to be colder than the first half. So I think the first half of March is going to be warmer than the second half of March. Don't think that we can just, hey, end of February, let's roll this all the way to May. We know that May in Western New York can go from winter to summer just in that month. So do not think that we're done with the cold and the snow, where there's definitely a few more shots Mother Nature has in store for us coming through. Hey, if you just tuned in, we can see a whole bunch of people just pop their heads in the room. It is great to have you along. Go ahead and give this a quick like and a share. That's really helpful to us. This is your Wednesday. We are going to start in the 60s and then drop. Sherry says the birds thought it was spring. I noticed that too. When my kids were going out to the bus, it was amazing. It was beautiful to hear all that, but it was a little unnerving because you look at the calendar and you're like, not yet. This shouldn't happen yet. We should see snowbirds, not songbirds. But hey, when you're up there around the record high today, as we were, you can see the number 68 degrees was the official high temperature today. If you were outside between 12 and 2, you felt that. There were some spots that had some rainbows today as that went by. We had a number of these pictures sent in. If you ever want to share your photos with us, we're happy to bring them in and show them off. And a lot of times we'll share them with everybody. Oh no, dandelions already, James. That is crazy. If you're living around here, we shouldn't even see those until mid-May. Hey, let me talk about when this is all coming through. If you want to see this again, if there's an element of what we showed earlier, you want to see it, let's do this again. We got a bunch of people in the room. Here we go as we watch the rain. This is 5 in the morning. Keep your eye on the clock on the upper right-hand portion of the screen. Pre-dawn hours, there you can see it's all rain. Then there's a gap. It's very quiet as we go from the morning into the late morning, and then here comes the afternoon. Lunchtime on the patio? I don't think so. You're going to get the rain and the wind and the cold, and it comes through. Look at this. By even before 4 o'clock, we're already a rain-snow mix. Now you throw the winds in this whole thing, and it gets downright unpleasant out there. 4 o'clock, the rain is gone, eastern New York, and here you go. Now we have these fingers of lake effect jogging through the area, and they'll continue on into the morning. Not a huge hit of snow. Someone said snow totals. We're not looking at numbers that are big. These are going to be pretty minor by Buffalo standards. How big are the winds going to get? Strongest gusts between 50 and 60 miles an hour right in there. That's what we're expecting, and those will be in the hardest hit. Most everybody will be 50 to 60. Robin, in your front yard on Saturday. Yes, I've seen a lot of those people sending those pictures in, and that's what we're working on. So this is the update we wanted to get out. And again, we will be doing more tomorrow. We're going to light this up right before all this hits, and we'll be tracking it as we go across all of Western New York. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today and popping in on this Tuesday evening on a very warm day. Be prepared for Wednesday. We wanted to put that out there so you had the timing for it. We're going to post more stuff on the page, and hopefully we'll see you back here tomorrow as we get things going and watch this wild Wednesday turn to winter.